One of the best ways to climb in general, but specifically to high elo, is to use win condition jungling. And obviously a tank is going to be very good at that, but I'm starting here instead of on the first buffs because you see the Nautilus places the ward there. SEJUANI's going to move on down to her red buff, and you're going to see if she walks across the vision line. If she hugs it high and tight, you'll see nothing. Nothing. So if you're going to ward like this in your bottom lane or even a jungler, please ward a bit further up than this so you can see people actually move through the passageway. Because currently, the enemy jungler, the Echo at this particular moment, doesn't know 100% that this is SEJUANI starting on the red buff. Now, obviously, considering she's getting a leash and they're going to be late to show and mana's missing, it's not going to be too difficult to figure out. But win condition jungling, we don't really care as much if they know where we started. Aftershock is the rune set. Echo's going to try and 1v9. We got a Ziggs Nautilus versus a Bard and, of course, a Ezreal. And essentially what you're going to try and look at here is the Maokais, right? The Rels, the Ivruns, anything that doesn't need a lot of economy, jungle gold, in order to carry, this is for you. Because understanding when to engage, peel, do the dirty work, obviously now you will be seen, so it doesn't really matter, right? Like, it's more of a delayed realization. Like, if you went leashless, for example, and they think maybe you started on the blue, then this is good because they're like, oh, she started on the red Crux Raptors, okay, but now he knows, right? And that's the importance of having good vision here if you want to know sooner, specifically as an invader, like from the red team's perspective. From SEJUANI's perspective, we wouldn't have known that it was warded whatsoever. That's fine, doesn't matter, don't care, because again, if you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource as well as a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries, weekly free video content seen nowhere else, as well as Q&As and patch note rundowns, as well as a private jungle Discord. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's converting junglers to gold, to emerald, to diamond, to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anyone you know, jungle div every game you play, click the link below or head to virkayu.gg. I'm playing for me. Sure, we're playing against the enemy jungler 100%, but we're focusing on our own game in terms of, look, what does my team need me to do right now? If I end up 2-2-20, 2 kills, 2 deaths, 18 assists, and all the objectives, great. I don't care if I'm down 2 levels versus the enemy jungler. I don't care if he gets cleanup kills. I don't care if I die making the right play. It's all about the map is king. Remember that. So, we're going to full clear here. The Echo's going for a tight sequencing. That means a blue, Gromp, Wolves, Raptors, Krugs into the red. He can afford to be slower, even though this is not that slow, but he can afford to be a little slower on his clear here because he knows he's not against an Invader, a Graves, a Viego, something that might try and punish him, right? And even then, this isn't so bad because they'll show up and be like, oh, he's not on his red, where is he? But in most cases, we can figure it out. You check the Krugs and, you know, I've covered this before many times about how to deal with invades. But, you know, regardless, Echo now has done his full clear, and will basically say, hey, I want the Scuttle Crab. But the smart guy says, look, it's a Mundo, so, you know, no CC whatsoever. I'm going to proc his passive with my W stun, get nothing. Pantheon's super low, being shoved in by Hui, and we have here the SEJUANI Perthing upside, which I saw in a ward, so let me just go straight back to base, buy myself an M-Tome and a Dark Seal. I do recommend, as the more squishy junglers, like a Karthus or something like this, you're playing a Brand too, you can afford to go the Dark Seal Doran's Ring, because then you can actually fight quite well in this river as a mage. But as an Echo, as an Assassin, as an Evelyn, like, you don't need to stop and delay your regular sort of itemization spikes. I don't know where Bard is going, but, you know, he decides to go and have a look and ward up. I think at this point, bottom laners really need to get better at tracking jungle timers. Ezreal's going to flash in there to get the solo kill. I mean, for him, that's worth. But for us, as SEJUANI, is this good? No, but can we do anything about it? No. So are we stressed about it? No, I'm relaxed. Like, honestly, you're absolutely relaxed. So the Bard and Ezreal should recognize that the guy started down here, pathed upside here. Your SEJUANI got this. These are shoved in. She crossed. Well, she didn't cross over. She went back to base. Obviously, the Echo's going to be here, coming out of base with items. Like, why even move up into the river? You should not. But he does, and they die, and it is what it is. Now, SEJUANI, if you're a Karthus, a Lilia, something like that, sure, we focus more on our sequencing. But because we're win condition, we're going to go straight for the gank here on the little hamster and say, listen, I want to take you out. I was going to say demise you, but that doesn't make sense. It's the holidays, you know, our brains are a little foggy at this stage. Because we know the Echo's going to be sequencing up here. And if this gank isn't something you can categorically do, and you're a carry jungle that needs your econ, you know, the guaranteed route is this into this, or this into this, and then cutting in to kill the Echo in this side when he sequences all the way up. Or if you're a Ringer or something like that, and you're not too afraid of letting him farm up, you can go ahead, you can go and get this free dragon. Like if it's a hex tech or whatever, you can go ahead and do it pretty easily. So a lot of options for those kinds of junglers, but for SEJUANI, I don't mind now that I'm behind in camps, right? I don't mind that the guy is going to be ahead of me for clearing up, because even if he does go for the gank topside, I will be there to counter gank. I will leave my Grump, I will leave my Wolves, I'll do what's necessary. And yes, sometimes it means you need to full clear a little slowly. And you will feel it. On Maokai and SEJUANI and all these champions, you will feel the slowness of your clear versus the higher ranking, faster clearing, mega damaging Riot's favorite fighters and assassin junglers. But none of that is too worrisome for us, because we see the Echo, we ping that, we didn't see him, we just pinged it because we know he's already there, it's obvious. And now you know that the Echo is going to look to do something up here, maybe go all in with the Fiora, who is pretty damn strong once she gets a few cash monies. And now you're just keeping your eyes ready. Like, sure, you could go sit in the bush and trap, but like, just relax. You know, do your Grump, observe, is the Echo going for the gank? Like, the Echo's not going for the gank, but we don't know that, right? We don't know that. So we think, is he sitting there? Let me go and shadow. We invest the time to shadow, but also we see that maybe if he's not here, we can just go for the gank. Cleaver hits. Like, I would just go for this. Like, this is something we can go for. Because she's got Ghost, but no Flash, and the Cleaver just hit for the slow, we could have easily started to move in. You can easily hit yourself a beautiful Flash Q Flash, and then once that's done, you got your W slow, you're going to have your E root. You know, this should be an absolute free gank for us. Oh, she dashed in. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to hit it anyway. I should have kept playing. I should have kept playing. I thought she was going to go around the long way. I'm like, no, go in. She was just posturing a little bit, so that's good. But obviously, what that means is if Echo's a smart jungler, which it seems that he is, he just says, look, I know SEJUANI sequencing to the top side as well. I know that I don't want to 2v2 that. I'm gonna go back to base and get my own cash money gold spent and go back to the bottom lane 3-0-0. Now the SEJUANI's like, well, you know, I've got 1300 for sure. I could definitely go back to base here. But I know that the Echo might look to invade my red side. This is why I get a little nervous as well. Like, is the Echo, the Evelynn, the Rengar, that something taking my stuff if I go back to base? So we shadow down. We don't care that we have less gold spent, right? See, look at this, look at this. This is important. You all know and understand the ganks, right? You all know and understand the tracking and the counter ganking, yes. But the shadowing, compromising your gold per minute, your experience per minute, just to say, hey, Echo could be going top lane. I'm gonna sit in this bush. He's not here, cool for a gank. Hey, I'm gonna go back to, oh, he might steal my red stuff and dive bottom lane again. I'm just gonna protect it. Because I don't really care. I'm not looking for the 1v1 fight, you know? I'm just looking to protect my stuff. Ooh, he's pathing through the river. Maybe he's gonna go on that way. Let me, you know, shadow that as well. Let me take this RNG scuttle, and then I'll get 6. Obviously here now, the Fiora has warded. So the Echo is down here. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Because again, could we go and do our red side quadrant now? Yes, but we saw the Echo cross the wall going back up, right? We saw the Echo go back up here. So there's no threat to this right now. There it is. Oh, you guys, I mean, talk about this in the courses, talk about this in coaching. There's no reason for this ward to ever detect you. Ever. You have shit pathing if it does. Just high and tight. Follow the mouse. Follow the mouse. Nice little bracket. Touch the wall. Tight until you touch grass, and then you can cut in. There's no reason to cut straight across. Always through, guys. Always through. And yet, he tries and then cuts in too deep. Look at this. Why is he cutting in? He's cutting in too soon. He should still be touching the wall, and he would not have been detected, and no one would see this. But now we know, okay, look, the guy could go onto the way. The guy could just go into my Raptors. Now he's showing here again. Oof, this is horrific pathing. Grandmaster Korea, come on now. Come on. It's really just not okay. But this is one again. I'm watching. I'm shadowing. That's the mindset. And she's 2-0-0, right? She's down 8 CS, 2 camps. The guy's heading towards the Herald here, and now you're saying, but how does this work in my elo? You're telling me that a Grandmaster Echo is walking through a vision like this blatantly, obviously, and we see it in a VOD review. These guys see it in game, but you can't see it in game. The guy in Emerald, the guy in Platinum, the guy in Gold, the guy in Silver is having great pathing? No, I don't think so. So, Nautilus goes mid lane. Echo feels desperate to try something and gets a nice double W. Obviously, we'll have his ult available. SEJUANI hits a beautiful ult there. We're going to hit that W, which would have led to an E. Unfortunately, he ults out, and then he can eat a space. We're not going to get another proc. Obviously, not a lot of melees for our E lockdown. Remember, this E at 4 stacks gives you that root that you can point and click. But it gets triggered by yourself, your W, which gives 2 procs, or, right, or a melee champion, not ranged champions. So she's way better than Echo, Pantheon, mid laner, Zed, mid laner, Yone, or something like this. But, you know, Maokai. Mundo will proc it, but no one else in this team. So Pantheon decides to go in. We'll hit our... almost hit the W there. We're really just forcing this on the Herald. I mean, I feel like we do have the ability to snack it up quickly, because Echo will definitely rotate, but I feel like we should just be focusing it. Obviously, we have the E Smite combo if we can hit it nicely, but here comes Echo. At this particular point, you need to pay attention to the fact that your Smite might not be as high as another person's, or their Smite might be higher than yours, although the double kill here is beautiful. That's a great battle. We'll rewind this in a second here, because I'm trying to witness triple kill to the pig. Beautifully done. So, at this stage, when you go for these heralds, right, a little later than normal, please pay attention to the fact that you might have 21, 22 pet stacks left if you've been ganking a little bit more than this SEJUANI has. If you're against a farming jungler who's definitely full clearing, they're going to have under 20, which means they're going to have a 900 smite, you're going to have 600 smite. In this case, both of them have a 900 smite, which is the most important thing here, but that's what you want to focus on when you're trying to contest these heralds. So press tab, have a look, have a cheeky understanding, especially in this gank here in the mid lane. They forced it, this was one he shadowed, she did a good job. She's taking these kills, converting them to objectives. Now the Ezreal ult is coming through, and this is just beautifully done. This is just beautifully done, again. She's sitting in the middle, she's CCing, she's protecting as much as she can, and then she ends up getting the triple kill. And you can do that as well. Obviously the bird hits a beautiful ult, and Echo's positioning is a little off, but hey. 6-0-1 SEJUANI. Remember, bonus HP scaling on your W. So the Giant's Belt here is a lot of damage. She mostly, well, most tanks are actually outside of Cassante. I mean, like mostly AP scaling, AP damage. Not AP scaling necessarily, but definitely AP damage, right? That's why we have AP Pig. Mundo scales with HP, right? But it does magic damage. So just typically a way to do things. Could they mix it up a bit more? They could. I mean, Mundo is different than that. He does have that E as well, which is a bit different, right? Like that's a physical damage thing. But yeah, tanks tend to have percentage max HP damage, magic damage, mixed damage, just because I do prefer a time when they were just tanks with CC, but then they become unkillable and people get frustrated. So if you take away their unkillability, they need to do something else, and then having a little bit of damage is important. But at the moment, they're not very unkillable. Like, you can kill them very easily. So their damage is too high and the tankiness is too low. I feel like that needs to shift a little bit. Hopefully, in Season 14, that will be the case with those new items. Now, Echo shows up over here on the top side. We've had fantastic win condition jungling. I'm still a fan of the Balmy Cinder tech on these kinds of tanks. I like having it for full clears and things like that. But this is so far so good. And obviously, the Radiant Virtue is just saying, like, look, I'm going full supportive, you know? I'm going to play around. Look at this. I've got my item. I don't care about sequencing. I know the Echo's going to try and do something. I don't care about waiting here. I'll just sit and chill. I know I've got the counter gank angle. I know the bard is playing off of me. That's important as well. See, there, hit the ultimate, exchange CCs, and we have W up again. He's just E'd and Proto Belt, so we could flash W if we wanted to, which we do. Auto attack, boom, dead. Beautifully. See? I play SEJUANI. I like playing SEJUANI. I mean, she's not the strongest at the moment. And honestly, I think Rel's a better pick, but she's just lower picked. But Rel's technically a better pick still. Fun pick, strong, but 0.4% pick rate. Interesting. So we activate this one, we get some plates for our team, which means now we can shadow bottom lane. You notice how we don't go for the Scuttle Crab, we look bottom lane, we see the over pushing. Ezreal's low, he's level 9, solo experience. Hello, no Toulouse. We hit the Bard ult onto the thing we want to kill. When time our QW so that he dies, he ults and hits, well, un petit peu, small amount. Now we go back into the river. Always look out for the lanes, always look out for the shadowing, and typically you'll find yourself in this good position where even though you might be down 20 CS, like the Echo here has obviously compromised himself greatly from the 3-0-0 lead, but you might find yourself down 20 CS to the Echo, but you're ahead in gold. Now we look, 5.8, he's at 5.1. We're ahead in gold. Fiora starts to do what I was afraid she was going to do against Mundo. Yep. I know people who haven't seen Fiora in 5 years. Literally. They're top lane players or jungle players, they just ban even if they play jungle. Like, I don't want to see Fiora ever. Just no. And they lose their minds over it, which is fair play. We all understand that. So, yeah. 11 seconds on the ultimate. Again, we're just shadowing here. Like, we're not... Echo was down here. He pushed back into his jungle. Is he going to punish away for pushing mid lane here? Maybe. So instead of doing my Krugs, I'm gonna sit in this bush and wait and then guide you, sir, to salvation, which hopefully should be a dragon, but we're not forcing the dragon at all. It's a bad play, we're not gonna force it. Only playing win condition. Here you can obviously go around this using your Q and stuff like that, but I feel like now we are loitering a little bit too much looking for this dragon. We have gone around vision. We're going to try and go on the bottom lane here. Okay, well, nice journey by Bard here. That ult does X-Smithy, unfortunately for us, but we are able to hit the W, which means we'll get the E-proc, auto attack, and Bard will finish off. So, good job. But you see this. Now we've gotten a nice, measured early game, right? We didn't take too many risks, and we equalized the early game jungling snowball of the Echo. Now we can just run around and look to make plays with the team. Now, unfortunately, as I said, it feels like we're greeting a little bit, we're not greeting, but like waffling around this dragon a little bit. I do feel like we could have maybe done some other things. Like maybe we could just hit this, and then sequence into this. Like I don't feel we really needed to force this gank here on the hamster. I feel like we could have done these things, slid in here, waited for the Echo and the Pantheon, set up that counter gank again like we've been doing. And this is still a good play, but now it's too late to go for the dragon, right? They're all up, they're all in the field, they could be reacting. Shove this, get whatever plates you can, detach, go back to base if you need to, or sequence and hit these camps if you don't need to, and then you can fight this afterwards. But that's kind of what we're looking to do. So, small mistake, but that's okay. Because I don't care. Because I'm a win condition tank jungler. Yeah. Seriously, that's literally the mindset. I've been playing a little bit of Maokai again, just on and off, I like to play different things. All my champions, my favorite champions, like the top 15 to 20 that are always in the rotation, they hit every single class. So I have a good experience of what you need to do and what it feels like to play each of them. And in this case, I've been playing some Maokai. I will be honest, considering my preferred play style at this point in time with the Zyra, yeah, I had to shift my focus again to more like Season 9. But the point is, I made a few boo-boos in some of the games, and I was down 2 levels, 25 CS, 30 CS. My mindset the whole time was so good. It's just relaxed. Like, yeah, you know, that sucks. Guess I made a mistake. So anyway, Maokai, and you just run around, and you just peel, you just gank, you win a fight because you can, and it's the same thing here, you know, oh no, I died. Anyway, and you just American Psyche your way back to the red buff. And every time you die, you do the same thing with the same meme every single time. And now we're thinking, wow, Krugs and Raptors, Echo stealing my Gromp and my blue. And sure, your team can collapse, and sure, you can collapse, which is what we will do. But the idea is, hey, I'm not going to go back to these camps. I'm going to react to what's happening. I'm going to rotate and take the objective. They got him, I think. I'll just go ahead and do this. Fiora's there. Echo out of position. See, the Echo has to get more golden economy. The Echo has to get that experience. The Echo has to be more active if he wants to solo carry the game, because he is the win condition. He's played the whole game as if he is the win condition. Whereas you are like, I'm not the win condition, I enable the win condition. So whoever on my team decides to pop off, I'm with you. And I'm just going to get the objectives and make sure that the enemy jungler is contained as much as possible. That's the best thing you can ever do as a win condition jungler is... Well, she reposted the bird ult, which means she just dies to the SEJUANI flash Q. And of course, ultimate as well. Yeah, it's a great SEJUANI game. It's a great SEJUANI game. High KP, good pressure, good objectives. Now, you could drop it here, but I don't like to do that because everyone's up other than the Fiora. Your team are going back to base. You got 2 bot, and you got a 3rd one going down to the bottom lane. So we're going to go ahead and coin flip the smite on this red buff. Obviously, you can check who has red by having a look here. So we didn't get it because Echo has a red buff, and we obviously have one that's expiring. You can always hover this in-game or in replays or whatever. So the Hui is in the bottom lane. Ziggs presses the ult button. Pantheon shows up. Is he going to try and hit a Q here? Dust. Ooh, nice quick feet. Nice quick feet. You're going for the stun here. Bard shows up. Hui also has his own kit for peeling. That E library of ability. Can we call them library of abilities? Because that's what it feels like it is. Now we got a 2v2 on the top side again. We could drop the Herald, but I don't like it here. You're not going to get more than 1 push. You're not going to get a 2nd push here. I really like to try and get it into at least inhib turret or use it as a free roaming Herald. It will take this, it will go and hit this while we all fight over this or whatever, you know what I mean? So try and use it as either something that's a real big hammer into the coffin, or if it's something that... Dun 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 dun. Well, it is a guessing game at a certain point. Now, when no one's on the field, that's when we can say, hey, let me take some Raptors. I'll go ahead and take this here. Oh, Echo's killing in the bottom lane. That's a bit unlucky. Let me just try and get level 11. I'm nowhere near it. He is level 11. Now you see how he ramps up as well. Gets a few kills, gets a few things here and there. Those carry junglers will start to farm a lot quicker than you. They will have more power than you, and there's nothing you can do about that at all. You have to accept it and know that, hey, you can hold waves, push waves, get camps, and to a large degree fight people reasonably well as Mundo pushes and shoves that out nicely. We do have the Herald to use. So we're looking around here. Echo's top side. That W rework is obviously not so good for Mundo, but it's great against assassins because of the upfront burst. Now we're moving into the jungle here. Echo was down here last, so don't know what we will find. You honestly don't always know unless you're actively tracking the CS. Finding the Echo here is a little funny. You know, because you don't necessarily know that the guy is going to go to the wolves. You think, oh, I'm going to get free wolves. It's a little, oh, that we actually did know. Well, you know, did we? Would he actually agreed for this? Like, we see it, but I don't really process it, honestly. I don't really process, like, oh, maybe he's going to go to the wolves. I know I coach it in a way that, it's like, hey, you know he's going to the wolves, right? Like, how do you know? It's like, well, because he's diamond, because he's emerald, because he's platinum. Like, they're going to go for this. In Grandmaster, you expect the Echo to go like, well, I just saw this SEJUANI clear this and move upwards, so she's probably coming into my jungle. I probably shouldn't go for the wolves. But I'm assuming that the Echo just missed that. So the SEJUANI makes the call of, hey, if the guy actually goes for this, I get to kill him. If he doesn't, I get free wolves. Which is the right call, obviously. But yeah, I didn't really expect the Echo to fully go for those, considering we just saw the SEJUANI bottom lane and clearing a ward. So, hey, is what it is. You got to punish their mistakes. If they miss something because they're fighting, which he was, so punish it. Good extrapolation, good cutoff, and again, the downside is, oh no, I get wolves anyway. Obviously, don't die for a bad teammate. If someone's out of position, don't die. We activated the Herald, they got the turret. That's, you know, again, as long as you get a turret with it, I think it's good. Now we're just shadowing, right? Wave pushes up, we shadow a little bit. Dragon's coming up as well. Nautilus is super duper low. About ult. We have everything. We have everything. Gonna hit the W first, or try and hit the W first. And then we're gonna try and root him, Q him. We don't want to waste our ult on him. Ooh, hamster. One cleaver. Oh, satchel charge. And Mundo obviously doesn't have flash. Now this looks a little bit fiesta. You think, well, isn't this a little fiesta? To a certain degree, right? But you're not going to farm faster than Hecker, MacArthur's, and Echo, any of these junglers. We have ult, so we can easily get the kill if we need to use it. But obviously you want to save it as much as possible. Don't waste it on her repost either. Try and force your E to get her repost. And if she doesn't, then she will die. You know, like, she has to repost something. And you have all the power. Like, if she reposts your E proc, you have Q. If she reposts your Q, you have E. Just don't make it on your R if possible. Here we go. Hello, Echo. We'll force him to ult here, maybe. Guys, greedy for camps, though. That's where, you know, I've made a lot of comeback Echo videos in the last week. Main channel and this channel. This Echo should go watch those. He's definitely... He had the lead, though. He just threw it a little bit, and he's just been I don't know, a bit off, right? A bit off. I'm looking at the scoreboard. Yeah. But you notice this. It feels fiesta. But we can run around with a bird now. We don't really care about our own personal farming econ. Like, he's at 132 CS now. We're at 105. We don't care. You know? Play around the team. Play around the map. Play around the flow. And while it's a heavy focus for most junglers to fall back to their camps during downtime, as a tank, as a win condition jungler, if you go farm these because you think it's a downtime moment, but your team's fighting here and there's a great chance you can just kill them, why aren't you there with them? So you've got to be there with your team. The best time to do farm here is when people are dead, you can truly accomplish nothing. But like Fiora splitting, go kill her. You're the enabler, right? There's a repost. There you go. See? Dragons available? No dragons this game. No one. And when you're winning and you don't take them, you don't force a soul or elder fight that makes zero sense. Mundo split pushing, Huawei's not split pushing, don't go back to your red side, right? Like, too many tanks, low elo, go back to the red side right now. Why? You know, he's here, he's fine. These two are pushing up here, the 3 top lane. We got a bear, and let's use it, right? Push up. Push up, push up, push up, shadow. And it's okay when you do that. Gold amount, 10,000 to... Ah, Jesus. Hold up. 10.5 to 10.1. Then obviously Mundo has a shutdown. So now it's Echo's got 1,000 gold lead once he gets this one. Yeah, basically almost 1,000 gold lead from the shutdown. Which will happen. Oh. No one saw the Q. No one saw the Q. Not so Q was to get in range for the R, but again, like, don't know if you necessarily needed it, but if you are unsure, always, if in doubt, hit the spell, gap close, make sure you hit it. Flash E there onto the Fiora. She reposts the QW from the Hui. And we are able to get the kill on the Nautilus as well. We do have the Baron, and we can shove up and hit this turret. There's the Echo looking for the flanks onto the Bard. Avoid the W if you can. Yeah, it's just methodical, isn't it? 9-1-10. I love this build. I love Warmugs here. I mean, the item has not been great since the last time it was great a long, long time ago, but I still like it, you know? I liked it last year in Munda too. I would rush the Sunfire. I miss Sunfire being a mythic. A lot of tank junglers suffered with the initial shift of Sunfire no longer being a mythic. And if you can build Radiant, that's great. The Jack Show is a bit meh, honestly. Really meh. So you're kind of stuck building one thing. There are the support items you can build as well, but like, why would you want to build a support item as a tank jungler? You know, like your low econ, sure, but the Sunfire was a nice, juicy one. This is a classic overpush. I don't need to commentate this. You guys all know this. We stayed for an inhib. We all died. We respawn. We've got the Abyssal Mask. Love that item. Really love that item. We got this one for the anti-heal, which is fine because Fiora is attacking us, right? So it's going to proc. That's really the one we're looking for. Right games. Grievous Wounds on a magic resist tank item, please. Like, is that so damn difficult? I don't want to have to build Oblivion Orb on a tank. I know I could, as they make a pick on their way over the wall with good vision. Because obviously they killed us and got deep vision. But we're the tank, so we say, ha ha ha. Okay, yeah. We're trying to coin flip his ult there, because he knows if we go over, then we ult him or chase him, he's going to ult back, and we'll be on the other side, so. Go and help your team here. There's Echo going back in the back line. Nothing you do to peel that one. You just peel who you can. You target swap as fast as you can, as best you can, okay? You're not always going to be able to peel everything. The Echo's at 13-5-1. Doesn't matter. Look at this. We're just surviving and thriving. He's focusing everyone else, but he can't kill us. Over the wall he goes. 63 still on the next ult proc, which is already used. Fiora's low. Look at this. You're unkillable. So as I said, tanks are not immortal, but a Mundo and a Sejuani with this big lead, tough to kill. Tough to kill. That's where you need a real ADC. That's the problem, right? ADCs are the tank shredders. Fiora and ADCs are the tank shredders, but the Fiora can't shred both of these and deal with the DPS of the backline. So that's very, very important to kind of focus on as well. But yeah, that's why ADCs are good, because they kill tanks. And what kills ADCs? Assassins. And what protects ADCs from the assassins? Tanks. Circle of Life. Or Enchanters to a certain degree, but, you know, also tanks. Ideally, you've got both. Although that's an ADC-based meta, and we refuse to give them that amount of ego again, I think. But look, I mean, we're relaxed here. 10-12, 10-11. I assume 12 because I assume we're getting a kill here. But look at Fiora. You see that? He's like, that's it. Run into a Fiora, die. Little too aggressive, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of... Yeah, okay. We're having fun. We're chatting. We're talking about how great the Sejuani's playing. We overcommit a little bit here on the Fiora. We die as... You know, a Dragon's coming up and a Baron's coming up, and I think that's a cardinal sin, you know? Your team isn't really in a position to play behind you. You don't want to have to actually give up this Baron. It's a bit unfortunate. Mundo does push out the bottom lane here. The Dragon will snack that up for number 3, but... that's not a good mistake by the Sejuani, actually. Gotta watch your positioning. Win condition jungling is a cruel game, because you don't have the econ to solo backdoor. You don't have the econ to solo win team fights. When someone steps out necessarily, but you have the engage, right? Someone steps out, you can engage and CC them, your team can follow up. But if you're the one being caught out, like in the before situation, it's really, really off. Oof, that's a damage from Hawaii. Don't often see that, actually. Mostly the champion is really terrible because people can't pilot it, but the champion's also not that great. Like, wow, he gets fed this one game, and like this one guy can play him. Guy's got a 39% win rate after a month. That, you know, no. You can't be like, it's good, he's fine. Sure, in the hands of someone who knows what he's doing, but you could say the same thing about anything, right? Including Teemo Jungle. Teemo Jungle's fine, it's good, it's solid, the pilots are bad. Or is it just objectively shit and only a few people can pilot it? You know? Regardless, in the meantime, we're losing our inhib. We have a little discussion on Hue, and we're losing an inhib. So the game gets a little bit closer than it needs to be, and I think a lot of that is the Sejuani being caught out and us overstaying on the inhib here. But we flow and roam. So the same thing goes for carry players. If your support tank is gonna die, let them die. Because the Echo got caught out and killed. Here he is again. He's up a level now. 14-6-2. Don't care. Just try your best to keep your team alive from the engage as much as you can. With 10-3-13, we've done a solid job of it. Our engages have been good. We're chasing people down more than peeling necessarily. But, oh, it's not the best Best ending. There we go. Q in, ult. We tank it. Double W. Hit the E onto the Pantheon. The bad ult does miss. Obviously, we're worried about the flanking assassination of the Echo, so we pull back a little bit. Munda pushes this wave up. Right, we've got a dead Pantheon, and Fiora's not up yet. She does have TP, though. Ooh, Echo. Echo's out of position, so we can engage on this as possible. If Echo's out of position... Already. Dearest Echo, please consider pressing your R button when you misposition yourself unnecessarily and lose the game for us. So both junglers have now done it. Both junglers have now done it. I think they can just end from that, though. They grouped up. Echo was the main threat to the backline. See, here we go. Munda can take the front line here. You can sit back a little bit as necessary, but we just want to chase down the Fiora here. Riposte is used, but we have 10,000 years of slows and CCs and backline damage. And even though she can do a lot of damage to us on ISO, she cannot solo. There we go. It's a little messy at the end. Definitely took a little bit longer, but that's the downside of win condition jungling sometimes. If you make 1 or 2 positional errors and your team get run down, give up Barons and Dragons, so try and focus on that. But overall, a really good, measured SEJUANI game. Let the game come to it early, just shadow potential ganks from the enemy jungler, took what you could. Same for the Echo, really nice job. Both of them really good early games. And then we just played off the shadow game. Like, oh, I got my item. Don't really care if the guy goes up 2 levels and 20 CS because that's not my game plan, right? My game plan is to win condition. So, Virkayu.gg for your jungle stuff and other things. And thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.